Hey everybody, and welcome to Medora Budgets. My name is Monique. I'd like to thank anyone who's liked or commented on any of my videos, and especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. So if you are rocking with me on this journey, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell. At the end of this video, if it's content you find valuable or enjoyable, please feel free to subscribe. It's myself and Sweets, married with a whole bunch of kids, trying to figure out our future family and finances so the decisions we're making now won't negatively impact them in the future. Today is Tuesday, the 22nd, and I am here to do a quick video. I was actually coming in here to work on some things as far as my budget is concerned, and I opened up my binder, and normally when I'm creating videos I always take this sheet out and you guys never see it, but I thought I might come on and just talk through what my process is around pre-planning. I've never really talked about that before, but I've seen a lot of recent videos of people kind of going through everything in their process, so to help people who are really starting this journey. And I thought that this might be something good for me to do as well. So that is why we're here today. So what is this, right? What is all of this? So let me just talk through what I do to get ready for my budget. Number one, I go in and I do my monthly planner. So got this from Walmart. It was about $8. It's just a monthly planner, nothing else, like a monthly calendar view, and that is it. And it's good for 2 years for this particular one. Don't know if they still have any of these, but if you don't have some place where you can actually outline your monthly look or view for your calendar, I would encourage you to do that. Now, a lot of people use the highlight method. I think that's made very popular from the Budget Mom. For myself, I use the washi tape method, where I outline for a paycheck period cycle, what bills do I want to cover for that. So I got paid on the 4th, so that's why this is in gray. These are all of the days that are covered under the paycheck that I receive on the 4th, and any bills that are associated with that need to be taken care of by then. And then the 18th is when I got paid again. And then I did the same thing and outlined those particular days. So I do this first. This is the first thing that I do. I outline my paycheck cycles using washi tape. I go in and write in all of my bills and the amount that's due for all of those. And then I have a section over here for any tasks or life events that could potentially impact my budget. So that's the first step. I use this as a guide. So once I'm finished with that, I pull out my digital planner. Yes, I am a digital planner girl. So I pull this out and I actually create my budget here in my digital planner overall. And so I write in what I need to pay, what the budgeted amount is. All of that is based on this. This iPad mini goes with me everywhere. I take it to church, and this is where I put my sermon notes. I take it with me if I go to Starbucks, because this is how I'm going to plan my day. I put in here all of the notes for all of the meetings that I have to document. I'm in charge of my high school steering committee. I'm in charge of 4-hour sign ministry, any documentation that's needed there. I'm going to be planning my family reunion for my family, etc. All of that is in there. This travels with me everywhere I go. So that's why the budget is done in here first. Once I do the budget in here, I then translate it into this binder that you guys have seen in my videos. This is a manual copy of that same budget that I did in my digital planner, and I use this for content creations to make it easier to make the videos, and for Sweets, so that when we are having conversations about finances, I can give him this so he can see what I'm talking about, and I go by this, and it helps our conversations. If I wasn't married to Sweets, or if he wanted it in a different way, or if I wasn't doing content, I probably would not have this binder at all. Okay, so this one is extra. I will say that. This one is extra and probably not necessary. But this has to happen. And this has to happen. At the end of the day, I could probably show you guys this for videos. So this has to happen, and this has to happen. Once this happens, once I create the budget for that particular paycheck cycle that we are in. So say, for example, I created one on the 17th for the check that I received on the 18th. And then on the 19th is when I did this. So what this is, I go into my paper notebook that I have, and you guys will see I've been using this since May. This is the newest one that I have. But since May, I've been going in and doing the same thing. I've got pages and pages and pages of just stuff and stuff and stuff. So let me tell you, at the end of the day, and here's another one that I'm working on again. So I've done this. This is the one from October 18th and November 1st. So I continue to do this. And so what is this that you keep saying, Monique? What I do is I go in. Okay, so did my budget on the 17th for the 18th, and then on the 19th, I go in and I start doing this. And what this is this is me documenting my next 4 paycheck cycles that I will have for my future financial planning. This is my future planning. It's not long-term goals. This is looking about 1 to 2 months out from the current paycheck cycle to see how my bills will land, and understanding any life events that I have that may be impacted. So on the 19th, I went in and said, okay, when's the next time that I'm going to get paid? And it looks like from this calendar, I'm going to get paid here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's November 1st. So I went in and said, November 1st, what will my bills look like then? One of the things that I had to recognize first is, how much does it take me to run my 4 walls, to keep this engine moving? How much money does it take? Now, when some people are looking at their 4 walls, they're specifically looking at 4 walls. They're just looking at what's needed to run the home. Everything else is considered expendable, right? Or variable, which is fine. I don't run my house like that. The way that I run my house is not just the bills that are due for that particular paycheck cycle, but also how much do I want to contribute to my high priority sinking funds as well. Now, some people may say sinking funds are not considered a part of your 4 walls, but for me, it is. And the reason why, these are the things that I have found will trip me up, for the most part, will trip me up the most in my budget if I don't go ahead and account for them now. If something happens to the car, if something happens with my health, medical bills, if something happens overall to the house, like for example, now we're having to get that water leak fixed. If something happens to the dog, those are the things that tend to trip me up the most if I'm not considering them. So I add both of these together, and I came up with the number of, initially it was $1,500. Now I've backed that off to $1,400. I need at least $1,400 to run my home and to keep this engine moving. Okay. So because of that, I know that that's my benchmark. So I can even write that up here. $1,400. That's my benchmark. That's the goal between my bills and my high priority sinking funds. Bills come first. Bills include not just the electric bill, but it also includes the mortgage, the car note, the debt, everything. Bills are first. When I added up all of the bills that would be due in November, from November the 1st, I will get paid again on the 15th. So November 1st through the 14th, when I added all of those up together, it was $1,070. Now, if you have not, I know every single content creator has encouraged you, and I will do the same. You have to write out all of your bills, and you have to know what you're working with every month. Some people might say, well, it's hard to tell because my gas bill is variable, my water bill is variable, my utility bill is variable. Well, let's keep it real. You know on average how much you tend to pay. And if you don't, you can always log in online and find out how much you tend to pay. Or you can call any of those companies and ask them, and they'll tell you how much you typically pay for those bills. There is a way for you to come up with a number. It is not where you have to be surprised. And I would say always take the max amount. So the max amount for me for the electric bill is usually about $200, but I actually logged into the electric company's website and found out that it was $158. So it might need some adjustment here and there. It might not be exact, but you can get an average and have that information available. So I added up everything that's due between the 1st and the 14th, and I came up with $1,070 that I should expect to spend. Knowing that $1,400 is my my maximum amount that I want to spend every paycheck cycle. That leaves me about $300 for my high priority sinking funds. And that leaves now a $30 buffer between the two to have in my account just in case that electric comes in a little higher or the water comes in a little higher, etc. So that's where I came up with these numbers. The bills is easier to come up with, and I wait until I have my bill amount to determine how much I want to give to high priority. In this case, I have $300 to play with. Then I moved to November the 15th. Remember, I do this for about 4 paycheck cycles. So I did it for November the 15th. My dates are the 15th through the 28th. All of the bills during that time. I wrote out all of those bills, and I realized that I will have money available from my auto payment, meaning I will be ahead. I do a split bill method for my auto payment. I will not have to make an auto payment here on the 15th. My auto payment is due on the 19th of every month. The one that I made on October the 18th covered the first half. The one that I make on November the 1st will cover the second half. So I actually have a little bit of wiggle room of about $250 here. Plus, I get paid 3 times in November. So while I'm going to put $250 towards my mortgage here on November the 1st, I only have to put about $200 towards my mortgage on November the 15th because I still have another check that I will get on November the 29th that can make up the rest. So I put a little bit less towards my mortgage. I'm not going to pay my auto, and that gives me a little bit more breathing room, and I need that because I want to put more money in house miscellaneous since my daughter will be having her baby shower, and I need to pay, you guessed it, $350 for the facility that we're renting. So I had to figure out how can I make this money by November the 15th, knowing that the shower is on the 23rd and that it's going to be $350 for the rental. So that's what I mean by future planning and using your life events to try and figure out what you can do in your budget. With that, and as I was looking at everything and how everything laid out, and again, it was easy to tell that because I've been keeping up with it every month. So I document, I paid $255 here for auto. I paid $255 up here for auto. I paid $255 here for auto. Because I am documenting everything on this monthly view, it made it easier for me to understand that I've got a free kind of $250 here, plus that I'm getting paid 3 times in November. So I can save a little differently to reach that $690 that I want to put towards my mortgage. So when you add all of these bills up together, it equaled $812. That left me some play because $1,400 minus $812 equals $588. Remember, I want to leave a little bit of a buffer in there, so I'm going to take $550 and put it towards my high priority sinking funds. I always contribute to my subscriptions and to my property insurance. When you remove those, that leaves me exactly $350. No, not quite. $350 to work with for house miscellaneous so that I can pay for that rental. And then I'm going to put in $40, the remaining $40 towards emergency. Okay. So that's the top part of this. That's how I figure out, again, how I'm going to take care of the $1,400 I need every paycheck to keep this engine moving, keep this house running. Then I have an $850 that I give myself towards variable expenses. I know you see $350 here and you heard me say $850. So $850 is total how much I want to spend for variable expenses and all of these additional low priority binder, extra debt, my emergency prep envelope, Monday minis, and the 100 envelope challenge. $500 of that $850 goes towards my true variable expenses. That's gas, groceries, home, meds, supplements, Corinne giving her money, etc. So when you remove that $500 from the $850, that's what leaves $350. And that's why it's, the other money I have to spend is $350, recognizing that $500 has to go towards my variable expenses. And then I document here how I want to spend that $350. And I do that again for every paycheck. So I've already worked through this for the 1st. I've worked through it for the 15th. My next one will be to do November the 29th. I got to do a paycheck for that one, And then I also have to do one for December 13th, 29th, 1, 2, December the 13th. So again, that will be 4 paycheck cycles out. I'll be able to have a bigger view or a larger view of how these are happening. And then as life events happen, things that need to be adjusted. Once I get paid on November the 1st, on November the 2nd, I'm going to do it again. So I'll have the 15th, November 15th, November 29th, December 13th, and December 27th, etc. And so that's how I move through my pre-planning and how I try to make sure I stay on top of my budget to try and eliminate all of the surprises that I felt like I was having before I actually started this financial journey. So there you go. Those are all of the steps that I take as a part of my pre-planning. Just wanted to get on and just talk through that. And again, if I can encourage anybody to do anything, you have to create a monthly overview, or at least know how much money it takes to run your household every month, because you need some type of guide in order to complete the budget overall. So I would encourage you, if you haven't done that yet, that is definitely a step that you need to do. And then once you have that set aside and you know how much money it takes to run your home, then it's easier to see how much money you have left over. Don't forget to add your life events in there and to really future plan. So look a couple of months out to understand what's coming up that I know I would want to participate in, that I have to pay for. Let's talk about that now so that it doesn't trip me up later. Okay. All right. That is it. Thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.